What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Got another top 10 list for you. Well, not another top 10 list. I usually do top 5 lists, but every time I do a top 5 list, I keep getting comments saying that it's not long enough. I need to do top 10s. So this one's going to be a top 10. We might jump back and forth between top 5s and top 10. Nobody cares. Who cares? At this time, though, we're looking at building an NES collection without breaking the bank. I know some of these games can get super expensive, and with convention season upon us, I thought it would be a really cool way if you're interested in starting to collect for the NES or even just getting yourself a small library. This collection will definitely not break your bank. Get 10, actually 11 games for under $100. And I tried to mix up genres so you kind of have a little bit of everything in here too. So I talk too much, I think, sometimes during these intros. Anyway, nobody cares. Let's go. Bubble Bibble. Starting off at number 10, we're looking at Double Dribble. This is one of the best basketball games on the NES. I think it is the best basketball game on the NES. It may not have, like today's deep mechanics, but back in the day, it was as good a console basketball game that we've got. The highlight of the game is definitely the slam dunk animations. It was super mind-blowing at the time, and it actually had voiceover too at the beginning, which was, again, something new to consoles for the most part. Gameplay is pretty quick, and the AI can actually put up a decent challenge, so it's a great multiplayer game too. So if you have a friend to hang out with and play against each other, it can be super fun.
Blades of Steel.
At number 9, if you're more of a hockey fan, look at Blades of Steel. I love this one growing up. It's a pure classic. The game's kind of known for its fast-paced action. The controls are super smooth, and the fighting is really kind of fun. So at some point, you throw your gloves down, and you can just start punching the other player, and if you lose, you're sent into the penalty box. So it's super funny. But yeah, the gameplay in this one is super tight. Even if you're not into hockey, this one is definitely worth having in your collection. And again, one that won't break the bank. So you'll have a couple of sports titles in here, and it's also, again, double player. I don't know how words work. 2 players, so you can get a friend in there and play together. Just absolute blast. Blades of Steel. And number 8, you're getting a 2-for-1. And I put this one in here because it's Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, the combo cartridge. It's the least expensive way to get Super Mario Brothers. So definitely worth your time to pick this one up because you can't really have an NES collection without Super Mario Brothers, right? And Duck Hunt's great too if you want a light gun game in the collection. But yeah, Super Mario Brothers, everyone knows this. It's a great game. Duck Hunt was fun too. Even if you've played Super Mario Brothers a million times, it's still fun to play through, see how fast you can beat it. And Duck Hunt is just one of those classic games that, whatever. So, yeah, Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. If you don't want to spend too much money, get this combination cart because it is the best way and least expensive way to grab these. At number 7, we've got Rad Racer. I think this one is a must own. I have a lot of experience playing Rad Racer, and I am not a very big racing game fan. I don't play a lot of them, very little to be honest with you, but this one held my attention back in the day. In fact, I played it so much really because it was part of that Nintendo Championship cart back in the day, and when I got a chance to do that, I really wanted to polish my game so I could do well, which I did pretty well with it. So yeah, Rad Racer is just, it's really well done. It's fast. There's even like a 3D mode that doesn't really work at all. I mean, there's like glasses that came with it if I remember right, but it was so dumb. But yeah, even without them, it's still a fun, challenging racer. It's just a great pick up and play. So yeah, Rad Racer, number 7. At number 6, we have Tetris. Yeah, you cannot have an NES collection without some kind of puzzle game, and Tetris is definitely the one to get. Personally, I have a vendetta against Tetris. If, going back to talking about the Nintendo Championships, I had never played Tetris before, and again, this one was also part of that cart. And when I got to Tetris, I didn't really know how to play it, didn't know what I was doing, and essentially the reason for my demise. But anyway, I've learned to love Tetris. It's a great game. Everybody knows what it is. If you've ever owned a Game Boy or play any of the modern versions of it, like Tetris 99 today, it's one of those games that should be in every NES collection. And it's still an absolute blast to pick up today and see if you can beat the last score you got. Watching some of these other people play it in tournaments is just amazing to me as well. But yeah, definitely have to have Tetris, and it's not a bank breaker, so great one to have in this collection. At number 5, we are looking at Dragon Warrior. I think this one belongs in everybody's NES collection, whether you're trying to keep on a budget or not. It's kind of the RPG that started it all. And it definitely laid the groundwork for all kinds of RPGs that followed it, not only on the NES, but even today. It's a great game. I played this one all the way through, actually not too long ago, maybe a little bit less than a year. And I will say it is a grind. So if you're not up for a grind fest, you might not want to get into this one, but I definitely think it does belong in a starting NES collection, because if you're going to have an RPG, it's either between this one and Final Fantasy, and yeah, I stuck this one in there. It's super inexpensive, and it's plain fun. Dragon Warrior. At number 4, we have Batman, the video game. This one is fantastic. It's one of the more expensive games on the list, and being a licensed game also kind of can make you a little skeptic on whether it's worth having. But yeah, this one is absolutely fantastic. One of the best games on the NES period. It plays like a mix between Ninja Gaiden and Mega Man, I guess. It's super fast paced. The wall jumping mechanics are just so well done and so fun. It's in the graphics, the actual visuals of this game. Hats off to the developers and the artists that put this one together, because it is very, very well done. Just a super fun game. I think the difficulty is just right in this. A lot of people think this one is super tough, but I didn't find it overly tough. I think it's fair. It's tough, but fair. But if you're a fan of action games, Batman is definitely a must own, and I had to stick it in this list. At number 3, we've got Adventure Island. If you like tough platformers, Adventure Island is for you. It's super fast paced. You have to constantly collect fruit, dodge enemies, obstacles. It plays kind of like Wonder Boy, if you're familiar. It's got kind of a unique health system. It forces you to kind of keep moving. You can grab a skateboard, which I don't know if it actually really helps you or not. I have my thoughts on that. But yeah, it's super fast paced. This one can get a little repetitive, but it's one of those super classic NES games that will not break the bank, and you'll have a good time with it. and kind of shows off, you know, what one of Nintendo's strong suits, I should say, which was the platformer, and definitely makes a great addition to this collection. At number 2, I have Ninja Gaiden, and you can pick your choice. I picked the first one, but 1, 2, or 3 would fit this bill. I think Ninja Gaiden, the first one, is actually the least expensive of the 3 at this point, but if you like a challenge, Ninja Gaiden is one of the best action games on the NES. Sits right in there with Batman. I personally kind of like Batman a little bit better, but I really like the cinematic cutscenes in this one. It was one of the first to do it, and just super fun and nostalgic for this game. I used to be able to go through this without losing a life when I was a kid. But yeah, I can't do that anymore because I'm old and blind and don't have. This isn't the only game I own to play anymore, so you know how that goes. But it's a great game, definitely worth having in the collection. One of the more expensive ones in this list, but still, it's an absolute gem. One that everybody should have if you're an NES fan. And last on this list is Kung Fu. I picked this one because I felt we needed an arcade representation on this list, and this one fits that bill. It's not an exact replica like something like Donkey Kong or maybe Donkey Kong Jr. or any of the NES or Nintendo arcade machines that were ported over, but it is very well done. The only thing that's really different are the graphics are not quite up to snuff with what the arcade looked like, but the gameplay is pretty much dead on. The levels are the same. You have to go through waves of enemies and fights, and there's a boss at the end that you have to figure out how to beat. Some of them have a staff, others are just giants, some throw magic at you, all kinds of different stuff. It was one of those games that I absolutely adored at the arcade, and was kind of has a soft spot in my heart because it was actually the first NES game that I had ever received, and it fits this list again because it is one of the less expensive games for the NES, but definitely I believe a must own for the console. Super fun, can pick this one up at any time and just play it. Yeah, that's it. Kung Fu. Hey, that's it. That's my list. What'd you think? Did I totally botch it? Did I miss something that should be on there? Are there other less expensive games that are better that, just let me know in the comments what you think. If you like the list, whatever. And if you like what we're doing here, please consider liking, subscribing, all the fun words are just not working tonight. Anyway, subscribe, like, hit the bell, all that kind of fun stuff. Till next time, see you in the next video. Late.